Welcome back. The Bucks really need Damian Lillard, and Trae Young responds after that loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. All this and more. I'm your host, James Sayers, and this is the Full Court Report.
I'm living my nightmare. It is a monster. It's in my head.
All right, let's get right into this. We have limited action today due to there only being 2 games on. So let's get right into this in-depth analysis of these 2 games that just happened. All right, game number 1 I want to talk about is an Eastern Conference divisional matchup between the Milwaukee Bucks and they're facing off in Indiana against the Indiana Pacers. And let me tell you, this game did not disappoint. All right, the Pacers coming into this game with the league's best 121 offensive ranking, led by perennial All-Star Tyrese Halliburton. Meanwhile, the Bucks are without one of their stars, Damian Lillard, who's still out with that calf injury after he helped win the game after Giannis was ejected in the last one. Indiana started out hot as they jumped out to a quick 27-9 lead with 4:45 remaining in the first by shooting 64% from the field and a scorching hot 71% from 3. Right? The Bucks fell behind by shooting only 4 for 15 during that same stretch. The Pacers ended up finishing with a 12-point lead after the first quarter. They maintained this lead all the way through the first half with a score of 66-60 at the break. However, Milwaukee would rally behind Giannis Antetokounmpo to take the lead with 2 minutes left in the third. They would keep the lead until about 1 minute and 29 seconds left in the game. Right? In this game, when Tyrese Halliburton hits a 3 to take the lead, and then 2 costly turnovers by the Bucks allowed Indiana to hold on to the lead and win the game with a score of 126-124. Giannis had an amazing game. He led all scorers with a ridiculous 54-point game. On the other side, the Pacers had 3 players over 20 points, with Halliburton leading the way with 29 on 59% shooting. Right? What this tells us is that our Bucks, they really need Damian Lillard. Right? They gave away a lot of defensive talent and tools such as Grayson Allen and Jrue Holiday to get Damian Lillard. Now, so far it has worked. Damian Lillard, when on the floor, the offensive potential that he gives you makes up for the lack of defense. But in situations like this, where it's just Giannis and there's no Damian Lillard, we don't have that defensive capability to really hold the fort down, right, without Damian Lillard now. So now you need him if Milwaukee is going to make a stretch into the postseason. Right? The Buckets really needed a bucket late and just couldn't get one. Right? They led by 9 with 5:13 left in the game and had no answer for 3-point shooting in the clinic the Indiana Pacers going to put on. Right? The Pacers have won 4 of their last 5 games. Now they've improved to 6-3 and take the top spot of their division. Right? For me, best player of this game, obviously, was Giannis. Right? With his 54 points and those 12 rebounds, as he did everything he could to will his team to victory. Right? He only lose by 2. Right? Worst performance of the night had to have gone to Brook Lopez. Right? They have no Damian Lillard, really needed someone to step up. Chris Middleton gave a respectable 19 points. Brook Lopez played 28 minutes, and his stat line, not a joke, 2 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists. Plus minus with minus 15. Brook Lopez, that ain't gonna get it done. Right? When you play like that, you don't have Damian Lillard, someone else needs to step up. It was Chris Middleton at 19 when it's someone else to give you any amount of points, right? And that game would have been won by Milwaukee. All right, that's that for that game. Now, on to our second match of the night, right? We're going to travel down south, Mexico City, for game number 2, right? Where the Atlanta Hawks are playing their divisional opponent in the Orlando Magic. Now, the Magic have played in Mexico City before. This is Atlanta's first trip down there, right? Surprisingly, both games that were on tonight were amazing. Both of them came down to the wire, right? This one also did not disappoint. The Hawks came into this game with the 4th-ranked offense and the Magic 4th-ranked defense. The Hawks got out to a 10-point lead early. In the first, on a three from Trae Young. However, the Magic were not phased and were able to tie it up by the end of the first at 34 apiece. Right? However, the Hawks kept it all, right? Kept at it as Trae Young lit up the scoreboard and he finished the half with 33 points on 9 for 14 shooting, with 4 of those baskets being from deep. The Hawks went up in the half 73-69, and they came out of the half and continued their domination, getting the lead all the way up to 11 points in the third quarter. However, the Magic didn't startle, right? And with a layup from Anthony Black, the Magic took the lead with 3:16 remaining in the third and held it for the remainder of the quarter. Right? The Magic would have, this lead got all the way up to 11 points in the fourth before the Hawks really started to battle back and get it back down to a manageable amount. Right? Without Trae Young, as a matter of fact. Trae Young was in the middle of a break. He's getting some rest. And DeJounte Murray led the charge, which allowed them to battle it back and get the lead all the way back up. And with a layup from Jalen Johnson, with 4 minutes and 4 seconds left in the game, the Hawks would take the lead. The Magic would immediately respond, get the lead right back, and get all the way up to 117 to 114 before Trae Young would come back in the game. This game would go back and forth until 31 seconds left. On a drive from Trae Young, he kicks it out to the left corner to DeJounte Murray for the game-winning shot. Right, push the Hawks up 120 to 119. Trae Young would be my best player for this game. He would lead all scorers with a staggering 41 points. Right, he would add 8 assists for that as well. For the Magic, also had a good performance from Jalen Suggs, who played an outstanding game, making 4 of his 5 attempts from 3. For a total of 21 points, which was the team's best score. Right? The teams were pretty neck and neck all the way, and this game really could have gone either way. All right, now on to our next segment, Sweet Picks. All right, looks like I was right about my previous 2 sweet picks from yesterday, being the Pacers would win with Tyrese Halliburton leading the charge, his 3-point shooting, and that Trae Young and DeJounte Murray would be too much for the Magic to carry. That means I am 2 for 2 on sweet picks. Right? For now, for tomorrow, we're going to tournament play. And here are my sweet picks for tomorrow. Right? First one is going to be Nets at the Celtics. Right? Celtics are hosting the Nets for tournament play and are favored at minus 550. Right? This is the second matchup between these two teams. Earlier in the season, about 5 days ago, the Celtics already played the Nets when they won by 10 with a score of 124 to 114. And this was led by Jason Tatum scoring 32 points and 11 rebounds. With the games being in Boston and the Celtics want to bounce back from that loss versus Philadelphia, I am going to take Boston in this one. Right? With Cam Thomas being out with that ankle injury, the Nets just won't have any answer for the trio of Tatum, Brown, and Porzingis. That's why I'm taking Boston. So should you. Second game, Timberwolves at my Spurs. Right? Spurs are hosting Minnesota Timberwolves and are plus 195 underdog in their first tournament game in San Antonio. Devin Vassell is making his return to the starting lineup for the Spurs, right, giving them some much needed offense. However, I don't think it will be enough against the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards has been on a tear. He's been averaging 27 a game this year, and he's been off to a hot start. And they also have the number 1 defense with their defensive rating is 100.4. That is why I will be taking Timberwolves to win this game. And then for my third match of the night, for my sweet pick, is the Clippers at the Mavericks. And final prediction, looking at that game, the Mavericks are a minus 125 favorite over the Clippers, and I currently have the 3rd ranked offense. Luka has been an absolute tear this season, continuing that what he does, and I think this will actually be the closest matchup between these 3 games, from the Celtics Nets, T-Wolves and Spurs, and the Clippers and the Mavericks. The Clippers, they have lost 3 straight, which is worrisome, and we're looking to bounce back. James Harden now has a couple games in the Knicks and against the Nets to really feel out the team and see how it's going to go. right? The Clippers also have a healthy Kawhi and PG, right? But I will be taking the Mavericks in this one. I think Luka Magic will be too much and be able to pull through and beat the Clippers. That means I am taking the favorite in all three games: the Nets, the Celtics, the T-Wolves, and the Mavericks. That's what I'll be taking, and you should be too. Alright, that does it for this episode. Why don't you go down there and hit that subscribe button? I will see you next time. I'm your host, James Cyrus, and this has been the Full Court Report.
I'm living my night.